before I start this review, a bit of backstory. I used to rent this movie all the time. This was my first encounter with the TV series The Batman. I was instantly hooked into the animation style and the way the show looked, such as the way it portrayed the Joker and the Penguin. This movie got me hooked on vampires, which planted the seed that would grow into my love of all things horror. I am planning to review all 5 seasons of the TV show this took place in. I bought the DVD for this movie as a gift from my younger brother Evan, and eventually he gave it back to me, so I decided to watch it again for nostalgia purposes. The Joker and the Penguin break out of Arkham, which first off, Tom Kenny voices the Penguin, which is awesome. During the scene, Ice Pen Bob King Pants manages to trick a guard with "What's that behind you?" They escape and both go looking for a tomb with money. Now here's where I want to insert more commentary. It's just how realistic Joker and Penguin look to me. The only thing I don't like is A, Joker's voice, and B, Penguin's voice sounds like SpongeBob, who hasn't been smoking 30 years. Now, this movie is darker than most DC Kids movies. For example, in the Spider-Man TV show, Morbius, a vampire is made to go after plasma instead of blood, but in this one there's actual blood, which would be pretty horrifying to a little kid like me back then. Now, Dracula's first looks extra creepy as heck. After that, Joker friggin' dies. He's electrocuted to death, man. That's screwed right up. Not dead, undead needs to be the new slogan for Hollywood Undead. Anyway, Penguin gets mind controlled. One night, the Batman witnesses a vampire attack, but decides to put the incident at the back of his mind in as Bruce Wayne proceeds to host a corporate party at his manor. Dracula lies disguised as cultural anthropologist Dr. Alucard, claiming to be visiting to study the Batman, believing his legacy had an influence on Batman's existence, and takes an interest in Vicky Vale, a reporter who's interviewing and dating Bruce. After failing to bite Bruce to quench his thirst, Dracula bites the waiter instead. The new vampire scares Bruce's butler Alfred. Bruce immediately introduces Alucard as Dracula, and the disappearances of Gotham citizens who have been dubbed lost ones by the media is because they have been turned into vampires, due to eyewitnesses claiming that to see a bat-like figure during the attack. It's mistakenly reported Batman is the culprit. When Batman goes to the Gotham Cemetery to look for Dracula, he's chased down by a SWAT unit, all of whose members are taken by Dracula as they chase it back into the city. During a fight with the Batman and Dracula officers to let him join his conquest of Gotham, Batman refuses just as Dracula as Batman at his mercy. The sun rises, Dracula's forces retreat, vowing to kill Batman for rejecting his offer. We end up seeing Bruce's parents die again. So Joker comes back and confronts Penguin. He asks where the treasure is, thinking Penguin has already found it, chasing him to Dracula's tomb. However, despite Penguin's warnings not to open Dracula's coffin, Joker ends up breakfast in bed, fresh squeeze for Dracula, much to Penguin's disgust. Vampire Joker, that's the line. Joker attacks a blood bank, leading to his capture by Batman. Joker gets covered in blood, while Batman attempts to concoct an antidote from Joker's infected cellular structure. Alfred discovers that Dracula once had a vampire bride, Carmilla Karnstein, who is killed by sunlight. During his research, however, Bruce ends up understanding Vicky, who is soon kidnapped by Dracula. Finally, Batman is able to cure the Joker of his vampirism and ascertain the location of Dracula's during Gotham Cemetery before returning him to Arkham. He then proceeds to mass-produce the vaccine. Dracula attempts to sacrifice Vicky's soul to reanimate Carmilla, and upon learning Vicky has been kidnapped, Batman rushes to Dracula's lair with his anti-vampirism vaccine and an arsenal of weapons, defeating and curing all the lost ones that attack him in the catacombs beneath Gotham Cemetery. The Batman then frees Vicky, disrupting the reanimation ritual. Dracula sends the Penguin to capture Vicky while he fights with the Batman, who lures Dracula into the Batcave where Batman would have had advantages over the vampire. In an attempt to aid his master, Alfred injects Dracula with anti-vampirism medicine or vaccine, but it cannot cure a natural vampire. When Dracula resumes his pursuit, Batman incinerates him with his prototype solar energy storing machine by striking him with the sunlight that was stored within, reducing Dracula to a pile of ashes and bones. Also frees Penguin from his control, who, while chasing Vicky, finally finds the hidden treasure that caused all the trouble in the first place. Sadly for the Penguin, he's arrested and blamed for Dracula's kidnappings, causing the media to think he's forcing people to find treasure. Dracula clears out all treasures and protecting Gotham.